Hi guys! In honor of Earth Day, we're going to read a book. But first, it's circle time in our circle once again. Hi friends! Oh, it's circle time in our circle once again. Hi friends! Let's wave to every friend. Let's wave to every friend. Oh, it's circle time in our circle once again. Hi friends! We're back in the circle that we know. Hello! We're back in the circle that we know. Hello! We're so glad you're here. We're so glad you're here. We're back in the circle that we know. Hello! Hi friends! Hello! Alright guys, today's book, Miss Amanda's favorite for Earth Day, The Lorax by Dr. Seuss. The Lorax. At the far end of town, where the grickle grass grows, and the wind smells sour and slow as it blows, and no birds ever sing, excepting old crows, is the street of the lifted Lorax. And deep in the grickle grass, some people say, if you look deep enough, you can still see today where the Lorax once stood, just as long as it could, before somebody lifted the Lorax away. What was the Lorax? And why was it there? And why was it lifted and taken somewhere? From the far end of town, where the grickle grass grows, the old Onceler still lives there. Ask him, he knows. You won't see the Onceler. Don't knock at his door. He stays up in his lurkum on top of his store. He lurks in his lurkum, cold under the roof, where he makes his own clothes out of miffled muffered moof. And on special dank midnights in August he peeks out of the shutters, and sometimes he speaks, and tells how the Lorax was lifted away. He'll tell you perhaps, if you're willing to pay. On the end of a rope, he lets down a tin pail. You have to toss in 15 cents and a nail, and the shell of a great-great-great-grandfather snail. Then he pulls up the pail, makes a most careful count, to see that you've paid him the proper amount. Then he hides what you've paid him away in his snubby, his secret strange hole in his glovulous glove. Then he grunts, I will call you by whispermaphone, for the secrets I tell you are for your ears alone. Shurp. Down schlurps the whispermaphone to your ear, and the old Onceler's whispers are not very clear, since they have to come down through the sniggly hose, and he sounds as if he has smallish bees in his nose. Now I'll tell you, he says, with his teeth sounding gray, how the Lorax got lifted and taken away. It all started way back. Such a long, long time back. Way back in the days when the grass was still green, and the pond was still wet, and the clouds were still clean, and the song of the swansome swans rang out in the space, one morning I came to this glorious place, and I first saw the trees, the tuffula trees, the bright-colored tufts of the tuffula trees, mile after mile in the fresh morning breeze. And under the trees I saw brown bubbaloots, frisking about in their bubbaloot suits, as they played in the shade and ate tuffula fruits. From the ripulous pond came the comfortable sound of the humming fish humming while splashing around. But those trees, those Tuffula trees. All my life I'd been searching for trees such as these. The touch of their tufts was much softer than silk, and they had the sweet smell of fresh butterfly milk. I felt a great leaping of joy in my heart. I knew what to do. I unloaded my cart. And in no time at all, I had built a small shop. Then I chopped down a Tuffula tree with one chop, and with great skillful skill, and with great speedy speed, I took the soft tuft, and I knitted a feed. The instant I'd finished, I heard a gazzup. I looked. I saw something pop out of the stump of the tree I'd chopped down. It was sort of a man. Describe him? That's hard. I don't know if I can. He was shortish and oldish and brownish and mossy, and he spoke with a voice that was sharpest and bossy. "Mister," he said with a sawdusty sneeze, "I am the Lorax, and I speak for the trees. I speak for the trees have no tongues. And I'm telling you, sir, at the top of my lungs." He was very upset as he shouted and puffed, "What's that thing you've made out of my Tuffula tuft?" "Look, Lorax," I said, "there's no cause for alarm. I chopped just one tree. I'm doing no harm. I'm being quite useful. This thing is a feed, and a feed is a fine something that all people need. It's a shirt, it's a sock, it's a glove, it's a hat. But it has other uses far beyond that. You can use it for carpets, for pillows, for sheets, or curtains, or covers for bicycle seats." The Lorax said, "Sir, you are crazy with greed. There's no one on earth who would buy that fool feed." But the very next minute, I proved he was wrong, for just at that minute a chap came along, and I thought that the feed that I knitted was great. He happily bought it for $3.98. I laughed at the Lorax. "You poor silly guy. You never can tell what some people will buy." "I repeat," cried the Lorax, "I speak for the trees." "I'm busy. Hold on. Be quiet if you'd please." I rushed across the room, and in no time at all, I built a radio phone, and I put in a quick call. I called my brothers and uncles and aunts, and I said, "Listen here, there's a wonderful chance for the whole Onceler family to get mighty rich. Get over here fast. Take the road from North Nitch. Turn left at Weehawken, sharp right at South Snitch." And in no time at all, with the factory I built, the whole Onceler family was working full tilt. We were knitting feeds just as busy as bees, to the sound of the chopping of Tuffula trees. Then, oh baby, oh, how my business did grow. Now chopping one tree at a time was too slow. So I quickly invented my super axe hacker, which whacked off 4 Tuffula trees in one smacker. We were making feeds 4 times as fast as before, and that Lorax, he didn't show up anymore. But the next week he knocked on my new office door. He snapped, "I'm the Lorax, who speaks for the trees, which you seem to be chopping as fast as you please. But I'm also in charge of the brown bubbaloots, who played in the shade in their bubbaloot suits, and happily lived eating Tuffula fruits. Now, thanks to your hacking my trees to the ground, there's not enough Tuffula fruits to go round, and my poor bubbaloots are getting the crummies, because they have gas and no food in their tummies." I loved living here, but I can't let them stay. You'll have to find food, and I hope that they may. Good luck, boys, he cried, and he sent them away. I, the onceler, felt sad as I watched them go. But business is business, and business must go, regardless of crummies and tummies, you know. I meant no harm, I most truly did not, but I had to grow bigger, so bigger I got. I biggered my factory, I biggered my roads, I biggered my wagons, I biggered the loads. Of the feeds I shipped out, I was shipping them forth, to the south, to the east, to the west, to the north. I went on biggering, selling more feeds, and I biggered my money, which everyone needs. Then again, he came back. I was fixing some pipes, when that old no-sense Lorax came back with more gripes. I am the Lorax, he coughed and he whiffed. He sneezed and he snuffled, he snaggered and sniffed. Onceler, he cried with a crapulous croak. Onceler, you're making such smogulous smoke. My poor swans, some swans, why they can't sing a note. No one can sing who has smog in their throat. And so, said the Lorax, please pardon my cough. They cannot live here, so I'm sending them off. Where will they go? I don't hopefully know. They may have to fly for a month or a year to escape the smog that you've smoggered up here. What's more, snapped the Lorax, his dander was up, let me say a few words about the gloppity-glop. Your machinery chugs on day and night without stop, making gloppity-glop and schlippity-schlop. And what do you do with the leftover goo? I'll show you, you dirty onceler man, you. You're glumping the pond where the humming fish hummed. No more can they hum, for their gills are all gummed. So I'm sending them off, oh their future is dreary. They'll walk on their fins and get woefully weary, and search for some water that isn't so schmeary. And then I got mad. I got terribly mad. I yelled at the Lorax, now listen here, Dad. All you do is yap yap and say bad, 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 bad. Well, I have my rights, sir, and I'm telling you, I intend to go on doing just what I do. And for your information, you Lorax, I'm figuring on biggering, and biggering, and biggering, and biggering. Turning more tuffula trees into feeds, which everyone needs. And at that very moment, we heard a loud whack. From outside in the fields came a sickening smack of an axe on a tree, and we heard that tree fall. The very last tuffula tree of them all. No more trees, no more feeds, no more work to be done. So in no time, my uncles and aunts, everyone, all waved me goodbye, and they jumped into my cars and drove away under the smog-smuggered stars. Now all that was left in the bad-smelling sky was my big empty factory, the Lorax, and I. The Lorax said nothing, just gave me a glance. Just gave me a very sad, sad backwards glance as he lifted himself up by the seat of his pants. And I'll never forget the grim look on his face when he hoisted himself up and took leave of this place through a hole in the smog without leaving a trace. And all the Lorax left here in this mess was a small pile of rocks with one word: unless. Whatever that meant, well, I just couldn't guess. That was long, long ago, but each day since that day, I've sat here and worried away. Through the years, while my buildings have fallen apart, I've wondered and worried about that with all of my heart. But now, said the Onceler, now that you're here, the word of the Lorax seems perfectly clear. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, it's not going to get better. It's just not. So catch, calls the Onceler. He let something fall. It's a tuffula seed, the last one of them all. You're in charge of the last tuffula seed, and the tuffula trees are what everyone needs. Plant a new truffula and feed it fresh air. Grow a forest. Protect it from axes that hack. Then the Lorax and all of his friends may come back. The end. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, it's not gonna get better. It's just not.